Hello my friends, welcome to Prime Strings. I'm Henriette and today is lesson 2 of the Learn to Read Violin Music Notes course. It's lovely to see you back here again, and last lesson we were talking about the stave on which music is written, and today we're going to talk a little bit further about this stave, but we're also going to learn to play the notes of the violin strings. And we are going to learn how they are written on the stave as well. So have your violin and your bow ready, and perhaps also have a piece of manuscript paper ready and a pencil so you can make notes and write things down as we go along. I'm going to show you now how the notes of the violin strings look on the stave, and I'll show it you here in the video, but I'll also put it up on the screen behind me so that you can see it much more clearly. So when we said in our previous lesson, the stave has got 5 lines and it starts with a treble clef, and the lower notes on the stave represent lower sounds and the higher notes represent higher pitched sounds. Now you may well have discovered that your violin strings go from left to right, from the lowest one, the G string, to the D string, the A string and the E string, and you go higher and higher. And here I've got a printout of what all the notes look like. That is the G for the G string, that is the D for the D string, that is the A for the A string, and that is the E for the E string. And I have deliberately left the stems out because I want you to make a habit of, when you read music notes, that you don't look at the stems but only look at those little balls that represent the notes. And each of these little dots in your music represent one sound, and that is where people sometimes get confused because they say, how am I to play this? But each of those dots represent one sound. So if I were to play this, that would just be 4 different sounds. Now in music, the notes go just like the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And you go a step higher every time you get another note, another letter in the alphabet, shall we say. But after G, we don't go on H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, and so on. No, after G, we'll start again at the beginning of the alphabet. Okay, so the note after G, a note higher than G, would be called A. A note higher than A would be called B. A note higher than B would be called C, and so on. Now there are a few more intricacies about that system, but we don't go into that detail today. We'll learn that another day. Just remember that the notes go like the alphabet, and then you're well on your way. Now every time we go a note higher on the stave, we either occupy a space or a line with our notes, and I can show you here. There is that G that was the same G that was indicated with my treble clef, and now I'm going one note higher. This is an A, and while the G is on top of this line, the A is in between the next 2 lines. The next note up after A is the B. A was in between the 2 lines. B is on top of the next line up, and the next note up is a C. So B was on top of this line. The C is a line in between the 2 lines up, you see. So that is how music notes work. They go up step by step, either on top of a line or in between 2 lines. Then on top of a line again, then in between 2 lines. On top, in between, and so on. We alternate those. So whilst we have 5 lines, we've got lots more possibilities for different notes, you see. Now I'm not going to be worrying too much about how to play all of these notes. We'll come to that later on in this course. All I need to get back to now is to go back to my open strings, and these are the 4 notes that I would like you to learn today. So this is your open G string again, this is your open D string, this is your open A string and your open E string. But of course, apart from pitch, there is a little bit more to music than just the pitch on its own. We also need to know how fast to play. And that is indicated by these numbers here. Now the top number indicates how many beats there are in each bar, and we'll refine this knowledge of the beats in the bar quite a lot, but I want you to just think that this is the 4, there are 4 beats in a bar. So if I play this note here, now I'm going to just get my violin and I'll play that note for you. I'm going to count it like this. We're on the G string. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's how long I hold it for. Shall I just play you that again? And you might play it along with me if you have your violin ready. So we're going on the string that's furthest to your left, that is the G string, and we're going 1, 2, 3, 4. And that is the meaning of 4/4 time. We're going to count to 4. So now let's play the next note on my list, which is the D, and we're just going to practice counting to 4 while you play, and that in itself is, for some people, is quite a challenge to count and play at the same time. So here we go, you can practice it with me. So now we're going on the string which is the second from the left, because we're playing the D string. 1, 2, 3, 4. And so we can carry on, we can play on the A string now, and we're going to 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we've got our highest string left. Let's play that as well. So here we go on the E string. 1, 2, 3, 4. Very, very nice. Now I don't want you to worry too much about this. What I do want you to learn this lesson is what these notes look like on paper. So I'm going to show you this again. When a note hangs down below the line, we've said when a note hangs very far down below the stave, it is a very deep sounding note. Now our deepest sounding note is the G string, so that's how you can remember. And the G string has got 2 ledger lines, can you see that? In lesson 1 we discussed that sometimes you have got notes that are so low or so high that they need little, what I call helper lines, ledger lines, and they are just an extension of the 5 lines of the stave. So here we've got 2, and that little note head of the G hangs just below the bottom one. So that is the G string. Then I want you to learn that the D string hangs off the bottom line. The A is in between the second and third lines up. Funnily enough, and I don't know why that is, we count the ledger lines from the bottom up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The bottom line is called line 1. Okay, so the A is in between the second and third lines up from the bottom. And here between the top 2 lines we've got the E string. Now if you want to advance your knowledge about this music a little bit, go ahead and write these notes on your manuscript paper. That you can download manuscript paper from many websites for free off the internet. So find the size that suits you. I've got a sort of intermediate size here and I've printed them on there. But if you learn these 4 notes and what they look like on the paper, you are a big step ahead. So that is what I'd like you to know before you come into the next lesson. Now we're going to learn a little bit further today, and we are going to have a look at the meaning of the lower 4 here. We said 4 at the top here means there are 4 beats in a bar, and a bar is just a stretch of music with a number of counts, in this case 4 counts, and later on we'll explain that a little bit further, but for now I just want you to know you count to 4 when you see that 4 here. Now I'm going to think a little bit more about the notes on the E string. You can see these 4 notes here, they're right at the top. They represent my highest string on the violin, which is the E string, and the E string on my violin is the string that is the furthest to the right, this one here. Okay, so that looks like that in music. Now we have said there are 4 beats in a bar, and here you can see I'm playing 4 notes, 1, 2, 3, 4, and they are all E's. So let's play this now, shall we? So let's get your violin, and we know that each of the notes in your music represent one sound, so you can play 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all it is. So in the meantime, I'm saying quite easily that's all it is, but in the meantime you have taken in a lot of information already, because not only did we know and we worked out from this piece of music which string we were playing on, we were also aware of that there are 4 counts in each bar. And these notes in music are called crotchet notes. In America, they're called quarter notes. And you can tell why they're called quarter notes, because they are each representing 1/4 of the total. We're playing 4 crotchet beats in one bar. That is the meaning of the bottom note. Crotchet beats, the number at the top, as we said, we know how many notes there are in each bar. So if you have 4, 4, it means there are 4 crotchet beats in each bar. Okay, now this is just one bar, and later on when we get a little bit further advanced we will play more than one bar, hopefully. And your piece may consist of 8 bars or 12 bars or 100 bars. It depends on how far advanced you are, how long your pieces are. But we're starting simple, as I've said before. We're not going to make things any more difficult than we need to. So we're just playing one bar of 4 counts, and here you can see them on the E's. Let's now go ahead and check out what my A's look like. So again, we have got our treble clef. All your violin music will have a treble clef. So once you get used to that, you don't need to think about it anymore. And this note is an A. You can see it is 1 line up, or 1 space up, I should say, from the G, which was the center of our treble clef. Remember, we were talking about the G's that the monks were writing, and that note indicated where the G was. Now this note is 1 note higher than that G. It's called A, and we're playing 4 crotchet beats of that A. So we're playing 1, 2, 3, 4, and on your violin that will sound like this. So I'm finding the A string, which is my 2nd string from the right, and I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think you can very clearly hear that each of those notes represents just one sound. So we've got 4 sounds all together. Now, you will guess what's coming next. Let me just show you that on my piece of paper. And we've got the notes on the D string. Again, the fact that these notes have got stems doesn't alter anything compared with when you were learning the open strings. Can you remember? We just left the stems off here, but you can see the space of the notes is exactly the same. Okay, so now we are playing D's here, and the crotchet notes, they're always the black ones. We've said there are 4 crotchet beats in a bar. This note is a crotchet, that note is a crotchet, that note is a crotchet, and that note is a crotchet, as we call them in England. And like I said earlier, in America these notes are called quarter notes. Okay, so 4 of those quarter notes make up a whole bar. So when I play this, I know I'm going to have to play on the D string because my note hangs off the bottom line, and that was the space for the D. And we know how fast we're going to play it because we're going to count 4 crotchet beats. So let me play this for you. So here we go on the D string, which is your 3rd string from the right, your 2nd from left. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's all it is. It's as easy as that. Did I say it was going to be easy? I think so. Now, let me now show you the notes on the G string. We know already that the G string is a very deep sounding string, so the notes on the G string hang off the bottom line, and like we said earlier, there are two ledger lines because this note is so deep it needs to go lower than the stave, you see. And again, we've got 4 time, that means 4 crotchet beats in a bar, and each of my notes is going to be a G. Shall we play that one as well? So here we go. Our G string is the string furthest to the left, so we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. How is that? If you have any questions, please drop them in the comment section below this video, because I want to make this course as easy as I can for every one of you here. So many people have requested a course like this, so that's why I'm so happy to do this. And I would love some feedback from you saying, why is that called 4 beats? Why are you doing 4 beats in the bar? To make it easier for you. Okay, so any questions that you may have, please write them in the comment section below. Feel free also to share this video with your friends if you want, if you know anyone or family members who want to learn about how to play music notes, how to read them. Do please share this video with them as well. In the meantime, I'm looking forward to seeing you again in the next lesson, where we'll be talking about different lengths of notes. So for now, I'm going to say thank you for watching and goodbye.